Chairman 10 met this week in order to plan the preparation for today's lesson. Immediately felt how all the friends have a strong desire to give and support one another, and that's why we chose love of friends as the topic of their preparation. Power of love of friends and the mutual support between their friends, foundation from which our work begins. Our greatest desire was that through the connection and the love in our tents, we'll be able to ultimately serve the entire world. Clear, we hope that we can warm our hearts with this preparation. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What are you seeking? And he said, I seek my brothers. Tell me, I pray you, where they are feeding their flock. A man wandering in the field refers to a place from which the crop of the field to sustain the world should spring, and the works of the field are ploughing, sowing, and reaping. Is said about that they who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and this is called the field which the Lord has blessed. When one is wandering in the fields, explained, refers to one who strays from the path of reason, who does not know the real way which leads to the place he should reach. In an ass wandering in the field, and he comes to a state where he thinks that he will never achieve the goal he should achieve. And the man asked him, saying, What are you seeking? Meaning, how can I help you? And he said, I seek my brethren by being together with my brothers, that is, by being in a group where there is love of friends. I'll be able to mount the trail that leads to the house of God. This trail is called a path of bestow, and this way is against our nature to be able to achieve it. There's no other way but love of friends, by which each one can help his friend. And the man said, They are departed hence. And Rashi interpreted that they have departed themselves from the brotherhood, meaning they do not want to bond with you. This in the end caused Israel's exile in Egypt, and to be redeemed from Egypt we must take it upon ourselves to enter a group that wants to be in love of friends, and by that we will be rewarded with exodus from Egypt and the reception of their Torah. AC Workshop Active Workshop. Share the love of friends that you are feeling right now. We had the opportunity to connect the men in the desert. I also remembered, as we're talking about the question, then I also remembered one evening when we were loading towards the desert convention, and while we were doing that, a car came. He was in the old building, and a few guys came out, not even connect to us, and they just start to ask me, What are you doing here all night? What do you learning here? And so I told them that we're learning how to love others. Wow. And they were really impressed and said, Wow, that's interesting. Every day you wake up to learn such a thing. I said, Yes, and they went off and it's not a given. Here there's more than 300 men sitting here physically, and thousands of friends around the world that are coming every day to love truly, every night to learn to love others. In our era, in our times, it's wild. It's a tremendous thing. It's unnatural to go against nature every day, to the nature of love coming out of the self-love. It's a great thing to do. Dailies are for all. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to also sit together. These are their friends as they sit together and are not separated from each other. At first they seem like people of war wishing to kill one another, then they return to being in brotherly love. The Creator says about them, Behold how good and how pleasant it is for the brothers to also sit together. The word also comes to include the with them. Moreover, the Creator listens to their words, and he has contentment and delights with them. As it is written, Then those who feared the Lord spoke to one another, and the Lord listened and heard it, and a book of remembrance was written before him and you, the friends who are here, as you were in fondness and love before. Henceforth you will also not part, until the Creator rejoices with you and summons peace upon you, and by your merit there will be peace in the world, as it is written, For the sake of my brothers and my friends, let me say, let peace be in you. Workshop. Silent Workshop. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to also sit together. Let's unite in our hearts and prepare for the revelation of their Creator in the lesson. All. Oh, dear friends, in the first part of the lesson we're going to watch a pre-recorded lesson from October 2022 on the topic of On the Verge of Murder. The lesson will take about an hour and 25, and then we will move to study between the friends, the study of 10. So we're in a lesson on the topic of On the Threshold. So we will continue from the source material except number 13. You can find the set material in KP Info and in the art system, and you can send questions through those websites if you wish to ask a question during the lesson. Please make sure you're connected to the external microphone or the microphone of the headset and not the built-in computer mic. If you're in the study hall, please hold the microphone close to your mouth and ask the question directly on the threshold to Lishma number 13. Our sage just said from her we come to. This means that we begin the engagement in order to give us the wealth of this world and afterwards give us the wealth of the next world. When learning in this way, one should come to learn Lishma for the sake of the Torah, meaning that the Torah will teach him the ways of their Creator. He should first make the sweetening of, in which means that he elevates mal, called the will to receive, through which is considered bestow. That is that all his work will be only in order to bestow, and then becomes dark for him. He feels that the world has grown dark on him since the body gives strength to work only in the form of reception and not in the form of bestow. In that state he is but one choice to pray to the Creator to open his eyes so he can work in the manner of bestow. Yes, this is our path. We all begin from the will to receive in order to receive, and we think only about that, and this is the only thing that manages us and directs us in every turn and in every moment that we live here, until we begin to realize that in such a way we are locked in this world, and we cannot in any manner feel who we truly are, what we exist for, what purpose, etc. And in order to understand that, we have to know our source, the Creator. How do we get to know him? How do we understand him? It's very simple. When we have to take on his quality in order to feel him, the feeling and the intellect, the mind with which to understand him. So then we begin to see how impossible that is. Time goes by and we feel more and more how impossible it is, and then we begin to hear more. We truly begin to hear after many years what the Kabbalists are telling us, that there has to be a prayer here, a request, that only through the right request we can awaken the Creator to help us, and to what measure we can ask of him, to the extent that we feel that we are in darkness, in helplessness. According to this, a request will be more true, and this is why we have to be able to each other awaken to the truth of our state where we are here now, and to also awaken where we have to reach to see the gap between these two states, and then out of that to begin to ask the Creator to elevate us from or to elevate, that is, to pass us, take us over to the other side of reality, to his side, and in this way by overcoming together, to ask together, to depict to ourselves what does it mean. May we come closer to him, we awaken him more and more until we persuade him to take care of us and to correct us, and then we shift the world OFO and the upper reality. I don't see that there are any questions. The hall, you have a study hall. Go ahead. Please, thank you. It says here, then it becomes dark. How does that come expressed in our state? What does it say before that? Why do you begin with half a sentence? When does it become dark for him, meaning that all his work will be only in order to bestow, and then it becomes dark for him. He feels that the world has grown dark in him. Why? Because he is in order to receive, and the light that the Torah speaks about and what the Creator intends for is the light of Christo, while he is still in the quality reception. So if so, he has to undergo a mitigation, meaning that the Creator will give him new qualities, corrections, forces, and then he will know how to work. In order to bestow, notes his feeling yes, that his body works only in the state of reception and he has to reach the quality of be and therefore he's now distinguishing and earlier he didn't feel it, but now he does feel it that he is in darkness. This is considered that the world has grown dark on him what he right next since the body gives strength to work only in the form of reception and not in the form of pistol in that state he has only one choice to pray, that's it he sees in where he is, and he has no chance to come out of it. And the Creator can help him, but the condition that he will ask, means that he will truly need it he will. Need it it's not that I cry out louder, and somebody else is crying out not so loud, but as much as I have a greater requirement then I can awaken the Creator to help, and when will that be the person does not know there is no particular boundary, or measure or some sign, that I have to reach thus far there isn't, but rather with all your forces, then has only one choice to pray to the Creator to open his eyes so he can work in the manner of bestow, that's it this is considered that the Creator saves him, that he wants to reach stole, that he won't be as he's now thinking in all directions and in all the different corners how can I receive, but rather he will think only about how to bestow to whom to bestow and what to bestow only. About this he will think, and he will grow in all of this desire to bestow more and more and more. This is what he's asking. For then he goes through this passage with this transition from Lishma to 31. Think it seems like I'm not going to give up my will to receive without suffering. How do I give up my desire to receive without suffering if I am in a group and we decide that we have to go together in a connection between us and acquire mutual bestow to each other, then already we don't feel in it any pain, any loss, because each one learns from his friend and each one grows stronger through the 10, and therefore we together connect between us and ask the Creator. We cry out to him, we ask of him that he will organize the help for us, that he will take us up to higher degree and then to an even higher degree more and more, and this is how we will reach the goal, that we will be able to bestow to each other and from within us to the Creator, and he will be among us, and this is how it is. Everything is in the 10, nothing comes out of the 10, so besides connecting between us, attaching ourselves more and more, we have nothing else to do, so go ahead. Is even written the minimum of many is 2, that even 2 can make such a connection between them, but it is better if it's a bit more, 5 or 6 up to 10, not more, that's it. So there is no problem here, but just to realize that our tenets as now I'm thinking only about myself, and this is my structure, my house, my home, this is how I think about the 10, this is mine and I care about them and I want to connect them more and more, and then in such a way we reach a state where this is what I'm asking the Creator for, and even egoistically I care for them. I want that all of us will be connected, so shifting from a single me to the whole world that I cannot do, but to the 10 that I can, and later on these 10s expand and connect between them already, and I learned from it how to do it. This is how we will reach a state where the whole world will seem to us as 110e, when we already exhausted all the powers within the will to receive in order to help the friends to serve the friends. I understand that I find myself further and further from the Creator, and there's no interacting me. Is this the correct moment, the correct prayer? Excellent, it's not a prayer, but it's a correct feeling, and through that you worked, you felt how much you're truly far away from connection. Now you also have an understanding, a thought and hearing that you actually hear that we need to turn to the Creator, so turn to him, tell him about everything within your own words, and ask of him that you want to be connected to the 10 in a way that there is no gap, no space between you, between all of you, that you all become as one man in one heart. Try and you will see how much you all change through the prayer. You will truly see on the very same day how much you are undergoing changes, improvements, and getting results, and how much you're getting closer, that it all comes, that everything comes out of the connection, and then bonding, and then incorporation. In cooperation with each other, this is how it needs to be. Good morning, everyone. What is it? What the S of the mitigation or sweetening of mal through means that mal is the will to receive, or the quality of judgment, which is very sharp. Crude, it's just the will to receive, and that's it. Judgment, and to mitigate the judgment is possible through the quality of mercy, which is, and so our whole correction is in that we connect, and then we take apart from beiner, and part from, and the two of them were together, and through the association of the quality of mercy with judgment. This is how we correct mal. How important is the objectivity in the request for the friends, because there's one thing that I feel, and another thing is what I think. This is true, but even your interpretation that this is how you understand him and feel him, that too is. Nevertheless, it's enough, it's sufficient, because you, with all of your forces in this interpretation, in your understanding and feeling, in your connection, as much as you want to join him in that, you already help him, and no more is needed. The rest of it, the true connection that happens, the Creator does that about this. It is written, the Lord, meaning the Creator, will finish it for me. This is well. We are now beginning to speak about the practical wisdom of Kabbalah, right? How do we shift from the beast to be a D human? Okay, so let's continue. Oh, we have somebody in the study hall. Go ahead, please. Morning, our friends yearning the prayer, and if so, how do we bring it into the tea strongly, powerfully? The itself isn't in a feeling in the person, it's not yet a prayer. The person has to translate it, to shift it to a prayer, meaning to an appeal to the Creator through the friends. Then it becomes a prayer. So try to take your yearning, your distress towards whatever you feel, to transform it through the group, through the friends, through the Creator. Then it will be called a prayer. The prayer has to come at least from a few people together, from two at least, preferably from a 10, from a quam, and then the Creator for sure will hear it and answer it. We have anybody else? Please, what is a prayer from 10? The prayer from the 10 that we, all of us, feel the deficiency, certainly in each one. The deficiency is felt in a manner which is a bit different. We can't even measure it, those differences between us, but we understand that we want to reach a connection between us, because in the connection between us we attain the quality of Lishmer, and in the connection between us we discover the Creator, and in the connection from the connection between us we also connect with him, and so into the connection between us he can give us what we need. The force of unity, the force of connection, the feeling of connection and unity with him. We then attain all of this out of their connection, and this is why unity, connection, the word one in Hebrew, should be for us as a lighthouse. Yes, each one has his own prayer from his own state, for sure, because none of us is similar to the other. So where all of our would do all our prayers connect towards the point of unity in the Creator. The Creator is this, the origin of all of us, and this is why he understands us, and he connects us, and fs us, and unites us. It is all him. This is work. This is why in whatever we're engaging in, we are actually engaging in the work of the Creator. What turns our prayer into one? Each one raises his own prayer from his own place. What turns it all into suddenly a prayer from the 10, but we realize that none of us will attain anything except for what we have to attain as connection between us through the Creator. We turn to him that he will connect us. We turn to him that he will fill us on the degree that we want to be like him, to bestow through everyone, to reach our complete stow, which then passes on to him. We all ask for the same thing. We ask for connection, yes, but each one from his vessel. Which one of us knows how much whatever he feels, and he's asking for connection, and the friend next to him, and another friend, and another friend. We don't know that, but the Creator, this is our origin. This is where we all connect. But this, it says, from our hearts will rejoice in him. No more questions. Go ahead, Please have to continue do this. Question if each one is praying from his point we should I need to feel the 10 as an individual. I need to feel my friends that are also praying in the same place. Right, David, we will reach that we will feel how much we're far away and coming closer and again far away and again coming closer like waves. We will feel it in the 10 relative to or the whole world. Where's that unit? The unit is where you are in your 10. This is your foundation, but from this foundation you will begin to feel how you have many other such systems around you, and all of us want to connect also between them. Like in a galaxy you have systems like the sun and the planets, and you have others like it, and they all join into a galaxy, and the galaxies join into multi-galaxies. I don't know how to call it, and this is how we go connect more, and each time we also discover deeper into the each individual, and also broader into the general, the collective, and in that we discover the work of the Creator in the particular, the individual, that we go deeper, and his essence is his greatness in the general, the collective, where we feel how much he feels everything and does everything. The feeling of the system we're describing, we can't emanate a prayer from the 10, a complete prayer or any prayer that I would feel as like a group without feeling this system that's true. Our first prayers in order to reach this system, our yearning should be on that. I want to connect and feel that system. You are searching for connection and are depicting it in all kinds of different forms, and this is what you're praying for, that you want to come closer to you. Embracing everyone, you including everyone that you feel and understand, everyone that you have a mutual connection with, everyone then through that you begin to feel that you are truly the entire universe, all in all. You're attaining Mal, the general Mal, a little bit. You begin through such actions, time being these prayers help change our attitude towards reality, but not the feeling of the connection in that system. Will that come over time, or always remain on the level of the attitude that is changing for me at that time? So we will start to feel this whole reality, we will start to feel it, and we will start to feel how we are more and more connected to the root of reality, which is the Creator, and how we are both far away from him, but also close to him, meaning we can always move relative to him in our will to receive and will to bestow in all of the actions between us, and that all of our actions will be directed so that he will be happy with us. All of this we will have to get to. No, thank you about the prayer. I wanted to scrutinize something, but I'm not sure I was clear on. We said the prayer is from the 10 to the Creator. Yes, we also say that the smallest group is to yes, smallest collective. I'm not sure I know how to ask anyway. You want to go ahead. So the attainment of the 10 is there has to be a physical action, that we're sitting together. Say physical, what do you mean? Physically, also be virtually, that we're sitting around the screens, but that we see one another, we hear one another, we do this action of the prayer. Or is there an act of prayer where I sit at home, I don't see the friends, but I include the friends, I think of them, think of their benefit, and from that I turn to the Creator? Or is that forbidden? No, it's possible even to sit at home far away. We have friends who are in the north and in the south, in all the directions on the globe, and they're connected with us, and they're connected strongly. There are those who are even in the army or in prison. I get from them kinds of, well, call it notes, and I know how much they're connected to us, and how much every word that we study is important for them, and so the corporeal distance doesn't make such a big difference. Sometimes it actually intensifies and amplifies the connection. Sometimes it erases the connection. As usual, there are all kinds of conditions, but all it does depend on is it depends on how much all of us are searching for connection, that inside the connection we search for the Creator. As much as this picture will be more clear, more felt as a deficiency, our primary deficiency, this truly is the direction towards Success, one more thing. Please, it's related. We spoke yesterday about how the ACT we spoke about Lishma. How the ACT if I bestow and the intention is still to receive and I receive pleasures. It's also good because the action is an action of. So what is the value of the intention? For years we said how the intention is the most important thing. The action is not important. But yesterday something got inverted for me. Something it's not. Fear you will find the right relation to it. You'll find it. I don't want to tell you it will become Spain one. Good day. Thank you. Question is how can we reach a teaching for connection? How can they get to the layer? For connection do we need to speak between ourselves something internal? But this is written from all my students. I learned from all my friends in the beginning. I don't want to connect with anyone. It's natural. Later on I look at them and I begin to be envious of them here and there because I begin to hear that these are signs of spiritual advancement, and so I want to be like them. I try to perform actions like them and I see that I'm not capable of it. Doesn't work out for me. It's like a little child that wants to perform some action and it falls from his hands. It doesn't work out for him. This is how in the form of connection I want to connect. I want to be more of a friend for them. And I feel that it's not working for me. Maybe I'm doing something, but inside no. Inside I remain as I am. I want to hug them, and it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work, and this is how I learn more, and I hear more and more that without the correct embrace between us we will not be established as a 10, and if is made of hard people then we need to put in great forces, and so we try to go out to hike together, sit down and have a meal, speak between us, study together, and more such things that because of maybe nevertheless will bring us closer to each other. And this is what we do, and most importantly it's that we pray that the Creator will connect us, because certainly we on our own cannot do it. We can sit or stand in a circle, we can sing together, but the true connection comes through the reforming light, because this connection, well, there is no such correction which is really a correction of the system of however on a small scale, and so we need to ask for that and receive the strength from above that He will connect us into a 10, and this is how we will advance. Thank you, teacher. You said yesterday I thought about your words all day. You said that the vessels of between us, I don't feel it like that. I feel it inside. The friend, is this correct? Nevertheless, I would say that the vessels of bestow exist outside each one of us. These are vessels of Vina, and we are all parts of Mal, and should glue us to each other above our will to receive, and this is how even though we are all such small circles of however we are attached between us, glued through the force of Vina, and this is how we should try to connect, that this general force of Vina that operates with its full power, this is actually the Creator again. What? Yes, correctly, all kinds of circles, desires, their desires in this realm. This is where a bestow is from me, and I don't see the way to join this process. Seems as if there's only the connection of their friends, and I disappear from this picture more and more. All that's left is this point that asks for them to support this tiny plural. So then should I then join them? Year to join them, or the other way around to disappear and only leave this point? You need to be the one who passes it on, the conduit for the qualities of the Creator, the quality of love and bestow to all of their friends. That's it, truly like a thread that ties everyone together. Belarus. What? Again, what is according to the text? What is the sweetness of mitigation? It mitigates the quality of reception with the quality of pistil, and then the desires to receive, which are different, can connect between through the quality of P. Like this SBR that move from one will to receive to another will to receive. It can tie them all together, and then they all connect between them. They will be able to see that it is possible to bestow to each other, and then everyone is filled. We have another question. Here, thank you very much. To continue the question from Belows now. So why do we feel darkness? Why later on we then get the feeling of darkness? We feel the darkness because there are still no vessels of bestow. The light can clothe in the vessel and appear in the vessel. According to equivalence of form, if we do not have vessels of bestow yet, meaning the intentions to bow, then the light can still not shine in it. So this is actually a good state. If I feel darkness, I'm it's the right direction. It's the right direction. If you feel the darkness, it pushes you to reach the light. Additionally, the darkness you on two. On the one hand, you see the bad state, you're in the darkness, and on the other hand, you need to go towards the light of bestow and not the light of reception, and therefore this darkness keeps you from reaching a state where you will want the light, because the darkness is holding you in place. It's giving you an opportunity to check, to understand that you need to want vessels of bestow. Next, more so, we have P31 about the topic of prayer in the 10. Let's say that we have a friend who has a great difficulty to come to the morning lesson. If the whole 10 feels sorrow for this, that the friend is not with us, is that a prayer? Yes, that's a prayer, except no, if it's in the right place. If he can't come for whatever reason, and the prayer ends with you being feeling sorry and asking for the solution for a creature, either for him to recover, to move closer, to have transportation, etc. We don't have anyone, so internet. Shalom from Santiago is asking, what does it mean from the spiritual perspective that we reach where we come to best? Very simply, we come to a state where we can bestow from Asia. There, asking, can we say that our only desire is to give him contentment from the connection between us, and this is done by searching for the Creator, but not in order to find him, but in order to delight him by searching for him. That if we will relate to each other, if you have this relation between us, that will make him happy. Correct. Next, Fern Cap, why is it that only when we begin to work in order to bestow, only then it becomes dark? Because according to our nature, we don't derive any pleasure from the bestow. You won't ask. I wanted to ask, when we are inish, there is still egoistic fuel that moves you to perform actions, but what happens exactly at your transition point, where you no longer have this fuel? Friends, connection with the friends, more and more to learn. What Isma, what does it mean? How do we go from working for the sake of ourselves to working for the sake of someone, from of a stranger? Can we imagine these things? We spoke about it in the past several lessons. If you go back 3-4 lessons, you'll see that you spoke about. And now we're closer to attaining Lishma. I have an intention to give contentment to the Creator, and I would like to reach LMA, but I see in fact that I'm only receiving the pleasure that he wants to give me, and so I feel great shame that this is blocking me, and he takes away from me the hope that I will ever be able to adhere to him. So what can I do to cope this? Shame is something good. Try to feel more and more that you're a thief. Then you feel shame in order to rid yourself of the tendency to steal, and then after a short while it will bring you to a certain understanding of bestow. You will want to bestow, seemingly want to bestow. You will ask the Creator to give you the power to bestow. These days you need to start and feel that you have a tendency towards bestow. You want to taste what it means to bestow, to have a desire to bestow. What does it mean to bestow? How to understand what bestow, so be connected to it somehow. Think about it as much as possible. Number 14 said that to be rewarded with Lishma for her sake, we first need to prepare the biggest Lishma, not for her sake, and then we can achieve. And similarly, we can interpret that Lishma is called a lie and ma is called truth when the lie is small, meaning that the MIT and good deeds are few. It follows that one has a small Lishma, and then he cannot see the Truth, hence in that state he says that he's walking on the good and true path, meaning that he is engaging. Inish, however, when he engages in Torah, all day and all night, and then he can see the truth accumulation of lies, his lie increases, and he sees that he is indeed working on a false path, and then he begins to correct his actions. In other words, he then feels that everything he does is only lishma. From this point one passes to the path of truth, that is to lishma only. Here at this point begins the issue of from one comes to LMAX 14 said that to be rewarded with we first need to prepare the biggest lishma, and then we can achieve, and we can also interpret. That is called a lie, and lishma is called truth when the li is small. That is that the mitivi and good deeds are few. It follows that one has a small lishma, and then he cannot see the truth, and in that state he says that he's walking on the good and true path, meaning that he's engaging in lishma. However, when he engages in Torah all day and all night in lishma, then he can see the truth, since by the accumulation of lies his life increases, and he sees that he is indeed walking on a false path, and then he begins to correct his actions. In other words, he feels that everything he does is only lishma. From this point one passes to the path of truth, that is to only. Here at this point begins the issue of from one comes to lishma, mean we must do anything possible until we come to the feeling of lie in our actions, falsehood, and we demand to pass to the truth from two, and this is possible only by performing multiple many actions. I wanted to be precise. How do I depict to myself that it is possible to build a greatest when you deal with everything you've got in world to receive, and you think to unite and to turn to the Creator and do everything you've been reading about, and you try all those things, you do them all, and it seems to you like you're doing everything all these actions. What else are you lacking? What you're lacking is that nevertheless you're not you. Sway much you do everything because you're afraid you're doing certain transgressions, or the Creator will punish you, or to have the next world, or for the friends, or the friends will see how small and limited you are, and so on and so forth. And then from these actions you come to a state where you nevertheless want to get rid of your state, and then you turn to the Creator and you ask him to change your nature. You want to be in the still, and from the great lish. How is the transition? How does the transition then take place? That is out of myself concern of where exactly do I move my to you. What you want is at least the same force that you worked in lishma to work with it in lishma. What does that mean? That I'm willing to work in lishma with the same force. Well, let's say had a restaurant, you food, and you served everyone who came in, then you sold them a lunch. Let's say now you wish to do the same, but without receiving payment from them, only in order to give them. You're taking exactly the same things you've done before you do them, and you give it out to everyone only in order to bestow here some additional love. Has you appear towards the friends when you feel that you have no love for them. You had love for money, let's say. Now you wish to work with that payment without a reward. How to do it? You need the Creator to give you the power to work without a reward. Why? Because without a reward, completely without a reward, you can't do it. Whether we say that it's no reward in the vessels of reception, but in the vessels of bestow, you can receive a reward. So you wish to resemble the Creator and bring him contentment, and feel how much, to what extent you are giving him contentment, and this for you will be the reward. This is called in order to bestow. That's it. How can we feel this? How does he let you feel that he's destroying? If you're truly doing it for the Creator, you begin to feel him and how he is enjoying you. We have questions here in the study hall. When does the point come when a person feels that he wants to go on a path of lishma? When I don't know, it all depends on the Creator. When the Creator, I can say, when the Creator sees that you have the correct conditions in order to reach the first Lishma meaning you have a group of a study schedule and you're organized, you're capable, that's why you can be given a point of con. To sow the desire is not enough, but rather we also have to arrange the right conditions. Of course, what is it? What is a desire? These conditions that you arrange around you, the point at the desire as being the right desire. About the example of the restaurant, not clear, what does it mean? Not to receive a reward for preparing for them everything. A reward you enjoy from pleasuring everyone and through them pleasuring the creator, yes, but it's without receiving the payment as is customary in a restaurant. It seems unreal, it feels like a lie. Why? Lie all those who come to visit you are relatives of the creator, and by feeding them you are giving him contentment, cause himself does not receive anything. Yes, it's like I'm cheating in that I don't want to receive payment because I want to bestow to the creator. It doesn't sound why is this considered cheating? Do you truly want to bestow to him or not? I want to bestow to him, but how can I know for certain that I am bestowing to him if I'm not receiving? Specifically, are receiving the payment. It feels that I would be able to say more truly that I'm actually working in bestowing to him. If the nature of the will to receive is kennel, then where is the resistance, the overcoming, the effort above it? The overcoming is by doing the same hard work in order to feed everyone, and you don't demand any payment for yourself because the work becomes the payment. So I'm not shifting the will to the nature of the will to receive, to actually receive payment by my connection with the creator. I don't understand, but if I would receive money, I would say, okay, fine, this money now goes to the we to receive, but I'm doing it so that the relatives of the creator will enjoy it. If I'm not receiving the money, then I want the connection with the creator to receive that. Actually, why is that wrong? When you acquire connection with the creator, you want attention with him, but I want to draw pleasure from it. I want to receive a reward. Pleasure is something else. Pleasure is something else. I want to receive pleasure from the creator's enjoyment in me. I want to bring him pleasure and contentment, and he only enjoys if I operate without any other reward, like a host and guest. It's a bit different because here I'm the one who's operating, I'm the one who's preparing. It's not that he prepared. Okay, so this way you can truly give, contribute, you can give it away to the creator. You have something in your hands to give him, and if you don't give anything but only receive, then in what are you exactly bestowing? How I know that for certain I'm doing it for him, that I'm not receiving any reward according to his reaction. Did you do the correct action or not? This is according to his reaction. His response is expressed in these vessels that are external to me. It's expressed in your feeling, in your attention to him. Moscow 7. To continue your answers for Lud, can we sum it all up in a way in the following way: that we first feel the sufficiency of the friends, and then the response from nature, from the creator, and in the next stage it's already reflected light from the hearts of the friends. Is this a something that we can't even note, discern which heart of the friends it is, and then we discover the reflected, or we can discern which friend it is, then we discern the call, the light from the entire tea. Yeah, there's something to what you're saying, has to fall into place, but you're on the right path, in the right direction. Key one, I would like to be precise according to the quote here. Rabashu gives this example of the big lie versus the small lie, that in a small lie we work in the 10 full confidence that we're advancing on the path of truth. So how does this happen in the 10? This transition from the small lie to the great lie. What is that great lie in the tent from which we can already discover truly the work in the still? There's a lie appears to us as either big or small, and according to our attitude towards it, our sensitivity towards it, we can identify it properly with a small I. We can remain, but if it's a big lie, we wish to disconnect from it. That's what it's all about. Be a bit more flexible. See how everything changes. It's like in our lives. I may make it more precise. This knowledge. That you're telling us that we are working in a 10 and suddenly we are notified that all that we do it's actually a lie. Move us, motivate us, accelerate us love. Of course, if we feel that we are in a lie and this lie is on the way on the path and to this lie number 1 and number 2, number 3, we can reach the purpose of life. We go and we accept these things each time as good things. It appears to us more and more and more, because more and more revealed there's not other choice. We are coming out of the world to receive that's opposite to the Creator, and now we finally discovered just how opposite we are and through which states we can come close to Him. So there's progress here, there's joy. German 4. Question from friend. The lie will know what a lie is, can perform some action in the 10 to see the lie even better. Is that correct? Only through tighter connection between us can we see a more powerful lie. Only by that turns out that the person has to work in line to himself, work in order for him to later be able to invest forces. I can't work in more unless I'm connected with the group. So what does it mean that he engage in the tea night and day? It means that each time, as much as possible, he wants to activate these actions of bestow towards his group, maybe even towards the whole world. The essence of the Torah is love you friend as yourself. A good morning are in this excerpt he talks about discerning the increasing the lishma. All of her efforts are always lishma and the friends. Now he suddenly speaks about the opposite of that. How does it settle? What are we supposed to do? Ask for it, or does it happen on its own? But I didn't hear question in this excerpt. Good morning. In this excerpt 14 he actually speaks about increasing the lish, making it greater. Now all of our efforts are always in mar and asking for the friends. Yes, suddenly he says no, continue in ish, make this state even greater, bigger. No, you need to always try to walk towards bestow and connection. But along the way you see just how much you are in reception and in lack of connection. That's not bad. Continue as best you can, then you'll reach such states of lack of connection, lack of bestow, that you won't be able to tolerate them, and this will then direct you, aim you correctly, meaning not to try to forcefully make it greater. It happens on its own, like a fall, a descent. If you're doing it correctly each time in the connection in the group, even if the connection is incorrect, nevertheless it will bring you to the correct point. What we have to do to make the LIE greater, we need to do it together. Should we even feel that something bad between us, this lie should be something that is hard, difficult between us. The more we advance, the more we'll be able to distinguish the lie more easily, more beneficially. No, when a person feels sorrow from hearing that R is speaking about Baal and he's not there, he's very far away from it, but he doesn't yet have the prayer. What is this person missing? He should connect with the friends as much as possible. He should disconnect himself from himself as if he is incorporated in them, and in this way he will advance quickly. This sorrow, it comes in moments. Should it be permanent in order to have a prayer, or it just comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes? We have another question here. Please, thank you. When a 10 makes deeds, actions, it meets, gets together, has meals, all kinds. Take this excerpt by the Rash says here, take it as a measurement of their work, and if so, how does it do it? What is considered a lie? What is considered truth? I can't say this, you have to see this according to the state. What does it mean that this is towards the truth, towards the lie? This is towards the truth. Sometimes the lie that you feel is the truth, and the truth that you feel is a lie. So we constantly have to be connected with the friends as we're looking for the north star, as we say that the right direction, and we check accordingly, not where I think I am, but how correctly can I position it according to the group rights. Here that is that the mitifi and good deeds are few. Turns out that he is a smallish, and so he cannot see the truth. This is why in that state he says that he's walking on the good and true path, meaning that he is working in lishma. So this is actually a false point in the Person here, the will to receive is lying to him is not really walking in. Lishma, so how do we now, who we have Zoom meetings 3 times a day, or we meet or perform certain actions between us, how can we know that indeed we are performed in acts in and we're not lying to ourselves? You won't be able to tell you can't tell still, that's why I have this question, but soon a few more days you will begin to identify it more clearly. Latin 6. The question is when we are in the moment that we are, how can we increase our adhesion with the Creator through the friend's adhesion is always through unity among the VGA. Good morning, you answer the friend from Kev. That the great lie is such a lie that you cannot agree with. When I look at my friends, I constantly feel my superiority towards them, and I cannot succeed in imagining to myself what should happen in order for me to hate my feeling of superiority so much that I will begin to cry out what should happen, what should transpire in order for that will happen. What has to happen is for you to feel how the friends disrespect you. They look down at you, how unsuccessful you are, how distant you are. Then everything will work out. Good morning, as I see it, the LIE is an additional vessel, additional tool in our work. Towards whom do we use this tool? Towards my ego or something else, so that I can be beneficial to the 10. Everything is only in relation to my egoism. We're going to go to women, or a bit more. Are you? We read 14. Okay, read for 15. Except number 15. The impression that comes to a person when engaging in between men and men, between men and the Creator, is completely the same as the impression he gets when engaging in mitzvot between men and men. One is obligated to perform all the mitzvot without any hope or self-love, meaning that no light or hope returns to him through his trouble in the form of some reward or honor, etc. Here, at this exalted point, the love of the Creator and the love of his friend unite and actually become one. Yeah, what is he trying to say? There's no difference between love of the created beings and love of the Creator. Love of we can do actions for towards love of the created beings of people, and gradually become to love of the Creator through them, because the Creator is absolute. So relative to him, our qualities have to be corrected in a final, stable manner, where towards the friends we can be in different we can be in different states. 16. Number 16. Our sages said one should always engage in Torah, even innocence from her he comes to. Therefore, when teaching the young, the women and the uneducated, they're taught to work only out of fear and to receive reward until they accumulate knowledge and gain wisdom. They are told that secret bit by bit and are accustomed to that matter with ease until they attain him and know him and serve him out of love. Again, excerpt number 16 from our sages said one should always engage in Torah, even in if it isma, since from he comes to. Therefore, when teaching the young, the women and the uneducated, they're taught to work only out of fear and to receive reward until they accumulate knowledge and gain wisdom. They are told that secret bit by bit and are accustomed to that matter with ease until they attain him and know him and serve him out of love. Questions. We have questions here in the hall. Go ahead. Towards other people, towards the world, is there a difference between actions that are and when it comes to the benefit of those actions? Of course there is. If I perform actions according to what the Creator extends to the whole world, or opposite that, of course there is a difference. If I do it along with the Creator, then I extend his line in order to give contentment to everyone, to bring them more to connection, more to the truth, and the whole world advances this way. And I even act in the same places, same areas where the Creator cannot act, and I can. Okay, unity. For unity. For is it possible to say that all the religions in the world find in any religion anything that brings a person closer to the truth, meaning to in order to bestow to everyone? On the contrary, all religions are all serve. They all serve egoists, governments, Ministers, messengers, and not the truth. Not to bestow, not to love of. Others, all of them just the same, and the ones who are governing those religions there, also managing them and all the people, only out of an egoistic relation. Okay, I wanted to ask about the previous excerpt. What did someone say? I surprised him. No, surprised me. I put my hand up. 10 minutes ago, the excerpt we just read. Is it possible from habits that we do to acquire the quality of out of habits? You can't acquire the quality of ball because you have nothing of this, because he writes there that from starting with fear when we're small ones, we can read the except, then we gradually get accustomed and eventually we attain the well. Still, if I understood that correctly, no, you will nonetheless have to go through a crisis because you're entirely made of the quality of reception, and the creator, the goal of your life, is on the other side, the quality of bestow, and you need help from above here to do this inner revolution. Yes, correct, but the whole process that you're depicting now, let's say I obligate to come to the morning lessons, to participate in the actions in the 10 as much as possible, to give myself for the sake of the group without any intention or anything. There's no such a thing to do that without any intention or without anything. Why do you continue this falsehood? All these actions you do are in order to receive reward, right? Like every person who does these actions. So why are you talking about any person? Why are you hiding? No, wait, I'm trying to explain something. From all these actions that I do in order to receive a reward, I accustom myself to doing certain actions. That creates eventually the process that you described. No, because you're doing it in order to get a reward. No. Well, then it's clear that I'm doing it for the sake of a reward. Can I do something that's not for the sake of a reward? What are you asking? I don't understand. Why are you manipulating? I'm not trying to spin you. You're pressuring me. I can't even concentrate. I'm getting angry because I never understand what you want to ask. What can you do? I'll try harder. Later, saying if I accustom myself to do those actions that are anyway in order to receive, where here is the approach altogether, the nearing towards. There is none. Only if he does that with the friends, with everyone, then there's an action of the light at forms here, and then he comes close to that, but still when he comes close he will need to understand how opposite he is, and then he'll have a crisis, and still try to turn around and to ask the quality of bestow the quality of connection from the creator, otherwise it won't work, meaning the only hope is to operate through the friends, and doesn't matter what, that's also not the only hope then. What, it's true that it's the correct action, but they'll have to understand that he's the opposite of what is desired. What's the difference in the understanding? For he wanted to ask is if can you reach Lishmer for her sake out of habit. I understood that from habit we won't reach Lishmer. Right, so if we're never is doing this habit, what does it give us? That one day you will feel that you're doing the wrong thing, that the main thing for you is to change your intention, that all your actions are falsehood, and that's what you receive through the being accustomed to something in the environment. If the environment is correct, then through the environment you'll get the light that reforms, that will give you this feeling of falsehood. Otherwise everyone would reach Lishma. Why can't you do it in any society? Or there was a question previously about religions. Their questions here, what is this crisis that a person has to go through within him before, when all his actions, his thoughts, everything is in order to receive, and if he will continue this way he'll die without wisdom. How does he survive this crisis? Well, each one in his own way from above there is set up in a way that he will continue. If he has preparation, he has a group, he has strength, and his soul is. Now we will summarize the main things we heard in the lesson, so let's workshop on summarizing the main points we heard in the lesson. Okay, we'll begin with gratitude. For this lesson, it's a blessing to hear and the questions from the friends may be the main things are that none of us attains anything other than connection with the Creator. The same time each of us asks for connection, but from within his own clay. And gradually on this path we'll begin to feel that we're more connected to the root and to the creator, and at the end of the lesson the whole conversation with G and about the falsehood, that falsehood is a place of truth as well, and then yet we have to come to a crisis and understand that you were in falsehood. Everything leads to the creator. The question is how we pave the way as quickly and as straightforward through connection. Next, friend, there was also the matter of Lishmer and how we get to it. In the end, we need to see how we work on more attention and from there try to reach the quality of the next friend. Yet the way for me, the summary is that the right way is that we have to obtain the reforming light through the right environment only. That will give us hope. That first of all we have to do a lot of things, and we have to increase in activities. If we engage day and night in trying to bestow upon each other, we'll discover the falsehood in our actions more quickly. So the actions are correct, but the intention is incorrect, and then we need to go through this crisis, and only by going through the crisis the desire for the real desire fora will be born. Yes, we'll read from friends around the world, from Brazil, that darkness is working so that you see that you are in darkness, and also that you will yearn for vessels of bestow. I heard that most of what we do leads us to discover the falsehood. The lie, how do we get there? And Lishma needs to be as great as Lishmer. Also I heard at the end that the habit will not take us Ismer, but we have to discover that all our actions are false, and that will give birth to the request to change. The intention was a very special lesson. I heard it in a new way relating to our present situation. It's very pertinent for us. What I took was there